Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again tonight with another episode of After the Buzzer, the show where I recap the NBA games from the day. There were a few of them. Some games did get canceled, so there weren't as many as there were supposed to be, but there were some fun games that I can talk about, and so here I am to tell you about them. In case, you're watching NFL Sunday, or you're doing Christmas shopping or something, that's why I'm here. I got you. And because I have you, how about you like and subscribe? Maybe a thought. Also, comment down below what your favorite game was, what your favorite moment was from today. If you have to watch this whole video to figure that out, feel free, but let's get it right into it, starting off with the Lakers-Bulls game. This was the best game of the day, probably easily. There were so many shots back and forth. The lead changed a million times, it felt like, at the end of the game. And of course, the long-awaited return of DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls lineup. He's been dealing with issues with health and safety protocols, and he finally returns after a couple-week absence, and he destroyed the Lakers. They couldn't do anything to stop DeMar DeRozan in this one. 38 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, right around 50% shooting. He didn't even shoot a single three. He didn't even attempt one, never mind make one. I think he shot 17 of 18 from the free throw line or something like that too, so he was drawing hella fouls. DeMar was doing everything for this team, and he's a presence that this Bulls team missed so much. He has been a legitimate top 10 player this season. I'm not saying he's top 10 in the league or anything like that, but if I got to put together a list of the top 10 players so far this year, DeMar DeRozan makes that list. And that's not something that many people, even me, who I was higher on the Chicago Bulls and the DeMar DeRozan pickup than most people were. And even I didn't expect that coming into the season. He has been a perfect fit for this team. He came in and took Zach LaVine's team from him, basically. Zach LaVine was the guy here in Chicago, and now DeMar DeRozan is playing like an MVP candidate. Without Zach LaVine in this one, they needed someone, especially down the stretch. Towards the end of the game, it felt like the Lakers were kind of gaining momentum a bit. They had a big run to end the third quarter, went into the fourth quarter up 1, and DeMar DeRozan comes in and shuts all of that down completely. He's been one of the most clutch players in the league. You know what he's going to do. You know he's going to walk right up the court. You know he's not going to pull up for the three. You know he's going to dribble a couple times and then just pull up a mid-range jumper in your face, and there's nothing you can do about it because he's going to drain it. You can hit him and give him free throws and make him earn it at the line, but if you don't, he's going to knock that thing down. Almost every single time. It's automatic. It feels like he's never missed one, and if he has, it feels like I'm watching fake fabricated footage. That's how automatic he is from the mid-range. DeMar does everything for this team. Let's take a look at his fourth quarter. So DeMar played about 8.5 minutes in the fourth quarter in this game. Here's every single scoring possession while he was on the floor. This is from Worldwide Wob on Twitter. So, keep in mind, every single scoring play while DeMar DeRozan was on the court in the fourth quarter. DeMar mid-range, DeMar mid-range, DeMar free throw, DeMar mid-range. Kobe scores, I think it was a dunk. DeMar mid-range, DeMar assist to a Vucevic shot, DeMar mid-range, Javonte Green layup, DeMar free throw twice, DeMar mid-range, DeMar 2 more free throws, and then Lonzo Ball 2 more free throws. You notice how I said DeMar's name about 1 million times? That's because the fourth quarter was his. Almost 100%. The entire fourth quarter was DeMar DeRozan's show. This has been his team this season. DeMar DeRozan is keeping this team afloat a lot of the times. In the clutch, when momentum is shifting, DeMar DeRozan comes into the game and shuts it down completely. He kills all momentum. The Lakers, it felt like they were rolling. It felt like, here come the Lakers. LeBron was hitting some shots. Melo was knocking down like 3 threes in a row. Russ hit a couple tough jumpers, and it didn't matter. Because DeMar DeRozan came in, shot a mid-range jumper in LeBron's face. He was like contorting his body. LeBron was basically up and underneath him when he was taking the shot, and it didn't matter. He knocked it down. DeMar has been unbelievable this year. He's playing such amazing basketball, and it's so fun to watch him play. I'm a big fan of mid-range jumpers. If you've seen this channel at all, you know I'm a fan of Chris Paul. You know I'm a fan of like Devin Booker, obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's taking a lot of mid-range jumpers. I'm a fan of DeMar DeRozan's. I just like mid-range jumpers. For some reason, I can't explain it. Sue me, I guess. But I love watching guys dominate from the mid-range. He doesn't even need a 3-point shot to defeat a team that's completely locked in on him. They locked in completely on DeMar DeRozan because no one else was really scoring in the fourth quarter. Lonzo and Caruso both had pretty good games, 19 for Lonzo, 17 for Caruso. Vucevic had 19 in this one, but it didn't matter because in the fourth quarter, everyone kind of felt like they went cold, but DeMar DeRozan. He got to the line, he got to his spot in the mid-range, which to be honest is everywhere in the mid-range, and he completely sunk the Lakers. He's playing like an MVP candidate. And that's one of my favorite storylines this season. He's been one of my favorite players to watch, period, this season, alongside this Bulls team, which has been super fun to watch as well, because it's so fun to watch a guy that many people thought they thought the Bulls overpaid for him. They thought he couldn't fit on this team because they didn't watch him play last year for the Spurs, where he was near an all-star on a team that was it just wasn't built to kind of be around him. And now he comes into this, he's their ball handler, he can play make, he's scoring from the mid-range, he's doing everything. I've said it a million times. He's doing everything for this Bulls team. He came in, he was a perfect fit, a perfect acquisition to really propel this team from a pretty solid team to a really good one. And when they're fully healthy, they are scary because of DeRozan's ability in the clutch. The best teams in the NBA are the teams that can get it done and have a guy you can go to in the clutch. If you don't have that, you might fall apart. Because you need some guy that no matter what can get you a bucket. If the whole team is cold, DeMar is going to go out there and get them a bucket, or he's going to draw so much attention that he gets a bucket for someone else. It's the same thing you see with like Chris Paul in Phoenix. When you need a bucket, Chris Paul is going to get you one or create one for something else or someone else. We've seen it with LeBron. We see it with Jokic. When you need clutch players, DeMar DeRozan elevates this team from a good team to a great team, to a team that could win the Eastern Conference. That's what DeMar's been doing this year. A guy that Bleacher Report named as the worst, or I think it was ESPN actually, the worst acquisition of the offseason. Goes to show how much we know. Or actually goes to show how much they know. I was a fan of the DeRozan pickup, but I just want to give DeRozan some praise. This was his first game in 2 weeks, and it looked like he didn't miss a beat. He's been waiting for this one. Lakers circled on his calendar. He wanted to show what he was made of, and he did. So did this Bulls team. Shout out to them, continuing to fight. They're the 2 seed right now in the Eastern Conference. Awesome. One of the stories of the year, both the Bulls and DeRozan. Shout out to DeMar. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the Spurs-Kings game. Mainly, I want to talk about the backcourt for the Kings in this one. De'Aaron Fox did not play. They also don't have Davion Mitchell. They were missing a lot of guys, and Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton looked amazing in the backcourt together. Tyrese, 27, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. Buddy Hield, 29, 3, 4 assists, 7 of 9 from 3. It felt like I think he had like 5 of them in the fourth quarter, in like this 3-4 minute span. Buddy Hield was just drilling the most ridiculous threes. He would go around his screen and he would have in this much space to shoot, in front of the 3-point line, and he somehow kept drilling them. Buddy Hield was amazing, and they just looked like they had some great chemistry in the backcourt. I want to see Tyrese Halliburton play more point guard minutes. De'Aaron Fox, of course, their point guard of the future, or he's supposed to be. There have been rumors that maybe they look to move him. I don't know if this game maybe leads to that at all. If they're like, oh shoot, wow, maybe Tyrese is the guy for us going forward. I'm not saying he should replace De'Aaron Fox. Maybe that's something they're thinking. Maybe they've seen Tyrese play and they're like, all right, maybe we could get something for Fox to better put around Tyrese Halliburton, because we have drafted 2 guards now in consecutive drafts with our top pick. I don't know. I just want to see. I think they should give Tyrese Halliburton more ball handling duties. Maybe have De'Aaron Fox play off ball a little bit more. Of course, he's not a great shooter, so that is kind of hard for him. I don't know. I just like seeing Tyrese Halliburton ball out, and that's exactly what he was doing. Buddy Hield needs to be on a different team. Some team needs to trade for Buddy Hield, get him out of Sacramento, because right now, the way that this Kings team's been playing kind of mediocrely, even though they won this one, 121-114 over the Spurs, Buddy Hield could give so much to a contending team. And I think games like this are the ones where they're going to look at it, and at some point, I think Buddy Hield gets moved before the deadline. I think he is a good fit in the backcourt, but you want Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox, if you do see that as your backcourt going forward, to be able to play together. Buddy Hield is more than just a 6-man. He should be starting somewhere. And so I do think they end up moving him to where, I have no idea, but Buddy Hield, he made a great case for his trade value in this one. Next, I want to talk about the Blazers Grizzlies game, and most importantly, I want to talk about Damian Lillard. Lillard kind of seems like maybe he's back. He had 40 last game. He had 32 in this one, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He balled out, carrying this team past a Memphis Grizzlies team that has been on fire before. I think they're now 9-2 without Ja Morant on the season, which is super impressive. Dillon Brooks had 37 in this one. He was a monster, but it wasn't enough. Damian Lillard and Norman Powell with 28 in CJ McCollum's absence. So this is a big win for them. This is one they definitely needed. You've got to beat the teams that Well, I mean, the Grizzlies are way ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers, but Grizzlies are one of the teams that maybe the Blazers look at as we can knock them out of the playoff race at some point down the line. So these are the games you need to win, even if you're shorthanded. Coming in, getting this win, it's a big one. And if Dame really is back like it looks like he is, then the Blazers maybe could build this thing back up a little bit. I still don't think they're very good. I still think they need to make a move for, like, whether they trade CJ McCollum, Nurkic, Covington. They've got to make some kind of move, and I do think it is going to happen. But for now, things are all right in Portland for a night. And finally, Dallas Mavericks versus Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves win this game to move to 15-15 on the year. Better record than the Mavericks. For a team that a lot of people didn't see as being like a playoff lock, the Mavericks look like a team that was 100% going to make the playoffs. They're kind of back and forth. Of course, they are missing Luka Doncic, so this isn't... I'm not blaming them too much for this loss. Jalen Brunson had 18 and 11, 28 from Tim Hardaway Jr. Kristaps had 13, and he left the game early with foot soreness. You had Maxi Kleber, who grabbed 14 boards, but really the story of this one is just no answer for Karl Anthony Towns, who had 24, 7, and 6. I think he shot 11 free throws as well. They couldn't stop him. He was getting to the free throw line. He didn't even hit a 3 in this one, which is like his whole thing. D'Lo had 22, 2, and 3. He continues to be a pretty solid clutch player. He's really kind of finding his groove without Anthony Edwards. D'Lo's kind of starting to build up a little bit of that confidence, and if that carries over, if him, Cat, and Anthony Edwards can all find their grooves at the same time, this Timberwolves team becomes so much scarier, and they become a lot more fun. The biggest issue with them has been guys kind of, like, one guy will have a really good night, two other guys will have a bad night, or like one will have a great night, one will be kind of and then the other one will be like pretty bad. They've got to all find their grooves at the same time, and that's really the key to them going forward. If they can find that consistency, if they can get all three guys to play together and play to the capacity that me and many other people know that they're capable of, then I think they're going to be a lot better. So that's all I have to say about the games. Shout out to the Pistons for getting a win over the Miami Heat. They don't get wins very often, so shout out to them for getting their 5th win of the season. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say about the games today. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite moments were from the day. Let me know what you think about DeMar DeRozan. If you made it to this part, drop a DeMar is MVP, I guess, in the comment section below to let me know you made it to the end. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you all later. Real one, say it back.